Hi all, you get to see the ugly mug behind the face and the voice. Nut certs. Now I did my previous video on viscous fans versus thermo fans and all that sort of thing, and look, when I put the thermo fan on using the original factory supplied clips, they work perfectly. I'm running two 12-inch ones staggered. Not as good, put them on the radiator itself isn't as good as put them on the shroud. A lot of people have commented on this previously, and look guys, I knew this was going to be the case. The idea was to use the factory ones first and then test the theory. There's no point making a shroud if things don't work, because you're just wasting all that time and money. But the theory was that it did work, and because I didn't have the factory thermo fan, viscous fan on, or the factory shroud, also found that my radiator had a leak, which I've now had fixed. Normally I fix them myself, but I'm out of gas and it was out of flux as well, and I thought, no, bugger it, for 30 bucks I'll pay the guy and he can fix it for me properly and pressure test it. So look, that's all been done and we're happy with that, and the thermo fans work as they should, being switched on and off via my engine guardian that I've fitted. I already had some 3mm aluminum plate which I've gone and made one up. You can see here. Now originally where they bolted on, I did have just an M6 thread and tapped the hole, which look held it on fine, but then I thought for longevity it's not going to work for a long period of time, purely because of the fact that the aluminium is going to corrode at some point and then the threads are just going to pull, being reasonably soft. So in the end what I've done instead is actually put in 6mm nut certs. Now, there's two types. There's that type, you can see there a bit closer, there, and there's that type. I've gone for this type in this case. That's good if you're running a really thin sheet metal, because you can do a big wide flange on the top there which stops things from pulling off, and then that spreads out and gives a nice wide spread as well. When you're looking at thicker stuff, this one's pretty good too, and in some cases quite good as well for sheet metal work, when you like put your snorkel in your car up in your pillar post, because it's quite thick steel there, so that'll work well on there as well. But what I've done here, I've fitted 7 of them already, but I left the last one basically there, and I've drilled it through. You countersink both sides, there's a small countersunk on that, so when it goes in it actually fits nice and flat there. And you can see here from what I've done in this one here, you can see it's quite flat. When I go from the other side, see, they poke through a little bit, but I've got enough clearance between there and the radiator fan fins, so there's enough room there. You can see where it's flanged out, so it's not going to pull out and it's going to work quite well. Now I don't have a nut tool, but I do have a lathe, so I made myself up a little bushing and use a high tensile 6mm nut and washer, sorry, bolt and washer. Alright, in there like so. A little bit of oil on the thread so you don't gall up the thread and then just ruin everything. I mean, a nut cert rivet is obviously ideal, but when you're not as rich as some, I priced one today, and yeah, I said that'll have to wait until Christmas. See, that's what I do. Screw it on until it's nice and tight, and then there's my socket. There it is. All I can do, and I'll try and get this in the camera. It's a lot more difficult than up top, but where am I? Over here. That's my hole. Right. So pop it in there like so, and pressure, because you've oiled the thread, and the pressure between the flange and the bushing is enough to stop it from turning. All I need to do then is put it in so it's nice and flat. Turn the ratchet around the right way, and And as soon as it starts biting, it actually pulls it in. I don't know if you can see that there. It's a bit hard, so I can't really get too close. There we go. That might work for you, but you can see that. Pulling it in, spreading it out. And don't over tighten them, guys. Just otherwise you end up doing some damage to the threads. And you'll get these pretty tight, and they'll pull down nicely. See on the back there how it's flared out, yeah, and done. Just undo the darn thing now. That'll be in there forever now, basically. And unscrew him again. Obviously it's not the ideal thing, but for small jobs like this, it works. And you can see there, I don't know if you can see right there, it's nice and flush. It's not poking out, which means my fans are going to sit flush against the side of this. So now I can put my fans on. Put that over there out of the way. To give me some clearance on one side, there goes my bracket. I have on the fans trimmed down one side a little bit. There'll be a little bit of a gap there, but not too much. It's not going to affect it. That's purely because I need to trim it out and make sure it would fit. Walk about. Of course, then using a nice new 6mm bolt, that'll be in there perfectly. Bolts in. If you can see that. Right. Just line all my holes up before I get too excited. And there we go. Nut certs, heat shield. Of course, that then, this other one, sorry guys, I'm just sort of moving things around. Just move that up out of the way, over here. Oop. Light enough to use one-handed. Like so. Now what I am going to do, because I've got a gap under the bottom section here and a gap under here, just a slight gap, I'm going to use a little bit of foam just to pull it out a little bit and stop it from rattling under there. I'm not going to go all the way along the bottom, I'm just going to put a bit on the sides. Okay, and a bit in the middle, just to stop it from rattling and moving around. Okay, thanks for watching.